tell us, what's your party's vision for Lagos State?
Okay, for Lagos State, I think, and most people also are aware that the state is a monopolized state where we have a center body that determines what happens in the state. And knowing that Lagos State is a very unique state that represents Nigeria in particular, I think when it comes to economy, Lagos State leads. And looking at the way it's being run over the years, a lot of people are not satisfied with the fact that it is a state that is becoming monopolized by some certain personalities, which is not supposed to be. And if we have allowed for governance, good governance, and contribution of the masses, played a huge role in Lagos. Lagos State should have developed more than this. I mean, we should be competing with Dubai by now. But because we have the structures being monopolized and people being at the corridors of power, determining who and who should go into offices that develops the state. That's why we are still so much backwards in the state.
Now, you talked about the fact that Lagos State has been monopolized. And, Lagos has been governed by the behemoth APC party that has been at the helm of the affairs of the states. In fact, Lagos is said to be the stronghold of the APC, the ruling APC. Yeah. Now, how confident are you to wrestle the states from the hands of the APC, considering the fact that this is their stronghold?
Yeah, we know they are stronghold, but I think there's a narrative going on right now in the public space where the voice of the people and then is beginning to count, one. Two, the people are becoming more aware than before to say these are our displeasure on us as citizens, even as people living in the states and taxpayers, and the kind of levies that are being placed on people. Now, people are speaking. It's not going to be, for me, I think the coming election is not going to be about the ruling party or a particular party. It's going to fall back to 8 years ago election when we were able to when APC was able to take over power from PDP, because our expectations were cut short. And I think that's the same thing that is going to play out come 2023. So for me, it's going to be the people that will determine what happens in their states, for instance. And then for me, also, people are looking at the third force movement, you know, taking over power. We want to now be able to weigh our options. And that is the energy that I get on the street, especially from the grassroots. Who are the major voters?
Earlier on, you were talking about your activism. Many of us knew the role you played during the EndSARS protest. How would you have handled the EndSARS riot if your party were being the Lagos State in the affairs of helms of affairs of Lagos State?
Okay.
How would your party have handled it differently?
Okay, so I think before October, there's already a movement, a chanting movement, which was majorly trending on social media. And I'm sure the government is everywhere on the space. They see things going on social media, on the street. We've had the issues where we see Nigerian citizens being demoralized by the so-called SARS, and a lot of people are coming up with their stories. So these agitations have been going on for a very long time, before the October. So an event took place that's like broke the camel's back. So for a leadership or a government in power, what they need to do is, rather than allowing for that agitation to keep building up, they should have probably deal with it openly. When the demand was a 5-for-5 demand, fixed the police, reshuffle the police units, let them go for training, increase their salaries and all that. Those should have been things that could have been decided on within a space of few days. And they call a open community meeting for the leadership of the movement. I mean, the movement, even though we say the movement does not have leadership, there are people that were on stage, there are people that must stand there on a daily basis to say, we are continuing. So there's a way to figure out who are the people that are controlling the crowd. And then you call for a open, town hall meeting and say, okay, the police structure, we call the overseer of the force too. We sit together and say, we too, we may not be in the force or in the corridors of power, but as youth and the people that are directly affected, we can contribute a thing or two to it instead of us allowing it to, break out that much. It should have been something that the state or the federal government, because it's not only affecting Lagos State, it's everywhere. So it should have been something they should have curbed if they actually take into cognizance the feelings of the masses. But it look as if when these politicians get into power, the masses no longer matter. What we go through does not matter anymore. How can we live in a country where we are, at all sectors, we are threatened, we are demoralized, we are treated like animals? You can't have a proper conversation with people in uniform because you are a civilian. That is not supposed to be. This is a country, is a nation that has over time attracted international view. So we should be able to represent and respect one another's space, knowing fully well that everyone is a citizen of the country.
Now, you talked about the fact that, which is quite understandable, the Lagos State government did not handle the EndSARS protest right. Now, do you think that the EndSARS right, also protest, will count against the incumbent government in 2023, especially?
Definitely it will. It will count against them. And is a major reason why most youth are saying we can't have a government that will come openly to kill its own people. And then this same government is coming back to the people, because I don't know how many percent of people are actually in government determining what happens in the nation or determining who rules the nation. It has to still come back to the people, the masses. And then if you have treated the masses unjustly, how do you erase those experiences and say you want to still come back? Once beaten is twice shy. Nigerians, I heard they are quick to forgetting, but I'm thankful to the Nigerian youth because we were able to, to convince people that we are not quick to forgetting, even though they think we are quick to forgetting. We have been able to hold the narrative of EndSARS for over 2 years, and it's still ongoing. So for me, I think it's a major issue that the government needs to really have a round-table conversation. Yes, they've been trying to do a few things here and there to, profile succor for the people, for the victims and all that. But I don't think that is enough. I think it needs a public address. It needs a public. No, everybody should be able to know this was where we went SS. The public too should be able to know this was where we went SS. That's way you can have the people rethink, but you can't have a spill of blood somewhere and expect the blood to be erased over time. People keep records. That was a major movement that would never be deleted from the history of Nigeria.
Let's look at the issue of one company that has actually been in the front line as far as Lagos State government is a consulting firm called Alpha Beta. What will you make of that company if your government were to emerge in the next election? Will you scrap Alpha Beta?
Definitely, I will scrap Alpha Beta because I think they are more on the side of the government because they think the government in power can determine whether they stay in business or not. They are not about for the people. And the people contribute majorly to what income they make. So, there should be...
Government, you will scrap Alpha Beta?
I think there will be a sitting... There'll be a panel, for instance, that reviews their activities and every role that everybody have played. You can't just say because they're coming into government and because a particular sector did something wrong and then you just scrap them out. There should be a panel that reviews everybody's activity, and then the people can decide to say, we want this, and this is not supporting our system. We want a system properly in the international space.
Let's look at the Lagos State government. A recent statement by one of your chieftains, your party chieftains, talking about Governor Tinubu, the presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress APC. As the governor of Lagos State, he was said to have pulled a blindfold on the Gushians by exhibiting a primordial instinct founded on rent collections, politics of dictatorship, thuggery, greed, lawlessness, and corruption, and turning Lagos State into his private fiefdom where he wields power like an emperor. How are you going to wrestle power from such?
I also think that we may think that they are in power, but at the back of their mind, they know that the narrative is changing, and the way the masses are chanting, the direction they are chanting to. And if you look at the number, the rate of the people that are going to get their voters card, is because people are dissatisfied. You can't live in a state where a particular person or an individual takes the state to be his own personal property. We all are Nigerian citizens. Everybody has a say. You can't be in a country where you think you're a citizen, but in disguise, you're actually in an open prison where you don't have access to anything that is working for you. So if, as a party, if you put up your posters, I overheard something on social media where one of the heads of, transporter or something said, if anybody dares to come into Lagos to campaign for presidency, the person will be beaten out of Lagos. I don't want to believe that is true, because the nation belongs to everybody. In fact, the people determines who becomes their leader. So on all understanding, on all grounds, we all have a share, we all have a stake in what is going on in the nation. So if anybody is thinking in his head, it could be things that have been happening over time, but some of us that were never in politics, we have become aroused. We have now been reawakened to say we want to be involved, we want to be a voice, we want to know what is going on here. You can't be a determining factor, whether it is convenient for the people or not, to just do whatever pleases you in the four corners of your room and throw it open to the public. The people are becoming resolute. The people are saying that we no longer want this phrase of Baba Sokpe. This is who should go for it. We want a state where a leader is accountable. And if you are a leader, and over time, you have been able to display a body language of a bully or a dictatorship, should the Nigerians still be blindfolded to bringing such person into the corridors of power, of somebody that wants to be the one determining what happens in the Senate? Your family members are the ones you put in power. People don't even get into office because they are qualified for it, but they get into office because they have to answer to a godfather. That is no longer going to play. If the people are not aware, this is why we should be allowed in the media space to broaden the mind of the people, to open their eyes to the real thing that is happening in the nation, not because somebody won the country. And I wonder, I look at people when they say a particular governor, Oshishe, he worked. A particular governor, deliver. They are not doing this thing with their own personal money. It is one that is generated from the nation's resources. So it is their duty. It is their prerogative to be able to meet up to the expectation of the people. So somebody will not say, I developed Lagos. You didn't develop Lagos. What was your life when you became a governor? When you emerged as a governor and when you were, running the states. So most of these things are things that they acquired because nobody is questioning them. And then they put it in the faces of the people and say, this person is the money bag. This person is the money control.
Let's look at some of the numbers in the last general elections concerning your party. Because some are of the opinion that your party is part of the minority parties. Your party does not have the structures, and I'd like you to speak to this issue. Talking about the numbers, in the last general elections, the INEC, the result portal of the INEC, that's the Benin National Electoral Commission, for the 2019 presidential elections, had the SDP candidate, that's your party, scored 34,746. On the other hand, the other dominant party, like the APC and the PDP, had their votes in millions in the last general elections of 2019. we had APC's Muhammadu Buhari scored about 15 million votes. His rival, closest rival, Atiku Abubakar, PDP, scoring 11 million votes. Coming down to Lagos, this is the breakdown from the official results of the governorship election in Lagos. Had SDP, your party, scoring just 277 votes in the gubernatorial elections here in Lagos, while the APC candidates scored about 759,000 votes and the PDP scored about 206,000 votes. Now, the question on the mind of people is, what have changed from 2019 until now? Or what kind of structures do you have on ground to be able to get the millions of votes the voters?
Okay, so looking at those statistics, it really shows that we are about part of, shall I say, the minority party. Yeah, but we've also seen where the PDP were in power for over 18 years or 16 years. And then we've also given APC the chance for the space of 8 years. And the nation is every day deteriorating vastly. Now, let's take this analysis. What happened that made the PDP lose power to APC? The same thing is going to definitely happen that will make the APC lose power to the minority party, so-called. Now look at the Osun State, the Ekiti State election. The SDP became second in that election because the people are becoming aware. You know, I know the Osun States were not, so prepared and all that, and it has to do with the structure, like you said. But for every step or every event that has been going on, we have been taking into lessons the things that can be a shortfall for us and the things that can give us a hedge. And what I know for sure is that the party is presenting a candidate that can give us a hedge. 1 is young. 2 is experienced. 3 is a lawyer. 4, it has very good pedigree and integrity. It has good records. And I think I would also indulge or crave the indulgence of Nigerians not to just go for a fame by voting people into power. Let us bring all this to play. Personality, character, and roles that they have played in government.
But do you think Lagosians and Nigerians are conscious enough, considering the fact that elections in Nigeria have been issues, or instead of, it's more like monetized, so to speak. And you have the stomach infrastructure. How will you be able to reorientate? Do you have the structures? Are you reaching out to Nigerians in that regard?
Yes.
So that Nigerians or Lagosians do not just, by the time they collect rice and money, you don't know where they're headed. What as a chairman of the SDP in Lagos, what have you done differently from what your predecessors have done that will ensure that you are able to harvest enough votes in order to offset the increment?
Okay, so we understand the dynamics of the stomach infrastructure game, and it is an intentional one. The Nigerian system, the Nigerian political space has been able to create a methodology for stomach infrastructure, make the people down, put them down, and then come on them and give them what they need at the moment. And we have been able to capitalize on that by going to the grassroots and saying, look, if you are giving 5,000 naira or 10,000 or 15,000 naira, looking at the situation we have found ourselves in Nigeria, I can't even buy you a bag of rice that will even last you for a month. So it's all about sensitization and educating the people on proper voting and the things you look out for in your candidates and the people you want to give your support to. Because these people are supposed to be the people answering to you and not you answering to them, being far away from them. There should be a governance that understands transparency and accountability to the people. Now, these people don't even know that everything that a governance in power does is supposed to be for the good of the masses. But here is the other way around. It's for the good of their pockets and their investments they put in. So people think, oh, but if we don't vote, they've even emerged. And I'm really grateful for the so much advancement that INEC has made available by saying there's going to be electronic voting. So it cuts down on rigging. It will also cut down on vote buying.
Yeah.
Because
talking about INEC's INEC's preparedness, let me ask you, what is your assessment of INEC's preparation towards holding a free and fair elections, especially in Lagos?
Yes, especially in Lagos. We've had meetings where we are invited, all party chairmen were invited, and I saw a lot of transparency. I saw fairness, I saw fair play in them also reaching out to us as a party for feedbacks and how to make the job easy for them, coordination and total transparency between all parties. And I give it all to INEC. For the first time in my life, I've been involved and wanting to be in the political space. I've not seen this kind of arrangement before, where all parties are allowed to express, where they take to note everything that we complain about, and they are working to ensure that things like that don't even repeat themselves again. So I think we are in the right direction with INEC. And I think even from their end, they are not sleeping either. They are ensuring that they don't have an inch on their own side. So it is left for us, the political parties, now to go and do our assignment and ensure to create massive sensitization and awareness and educating the people, especially the grassroots people, because these people don't go to the elites. They don't go to the ones that are educated. They go to the grassroots people, the market women. And these market women, the only thing, I'm not worried, don't worry, we're going to give you this, and don't worry, we're going to give you that. But over time, they've known that all these things are just the lie of the moment. After they get into office, you no longer see them again. They go about with their sirens and all that. I've had to do a lot of grassroots work. I've had to be able to harvest people that belongs to some political parties. And they say, look, we are tired. We are being used. Everybody is aware now that they are being used. Those people really, these political godfathers and people that are, desperately in need of wanting to be in the office. They're not going into the office because they love the people. They're going to the office because they want to build their profile. They want to be able to be protected. They want to be in power to rule the people. Democracy is not to rule the people. Democracy is to govern the people and to manage the resources of the nation. But in Nigeria, it's a different ballgame. And if a few of us have never been interested in Nigeria are now coming out to say, we want to be involved, we want to know what is happening, it means a lot of people are being awakened every day. And this is going to be intense. This to come. We're going to go intense. We're going to intensify and say, look, vote buying is not the way, because we're going to have to pay for it for another 4 years. We have done it over time, and we have seen it boomerang.
So, the APC have the incumbent governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as his candidate. Do you have what it takes to challenge him come 2023? Does your party have?
I would say we are there 100%. I don't boast over flimsy word just to impress. But I will say if we intensify, if we do more, we understand their lapses, we understand their shortfalls, we can capitalize on that and then create a narrative that will sell our party candidate to the people.
Is your party also looking into mergers with other minority parties in Lagos?
We look forward into infusion. If there are other parties that are open to that, I know there are a lot of conversations that are going out. And the infusion will be that it has to be about the best that can sell. It's not, I mean, us running for 2023 is not about, it shouldn't be for all parties about we must win. Because if you are a party that is relegated and you were not able to make it, then your party becomes irrelevant after election. So how can we come together and build a force to present the people, to present individuals that has good pedigree, that are going to be accountable, that their profiles are right with the people. That's what we want to sell. Those are the projections we have.
So what exactly is different that you are bringing on the table for Lagosians?
Okay, what is different is for the Lagos state is that we're going to bring in a lot of creativity, a lot of advancements. Some of us have been able to travel. We've been to just Dubai here. Most people now want to go to Dubai. We have the resources and every mathematical structure that it takes to develop the state into that standard, where people can also, we can even have a state that is visited by, a lot of international investors. If we have the people, here's one of the challenges we have. We have sectors in Nigeria, in the states, but the people heading the sectors, are they qualified for those positions, or were they put in office because somebody thinks they will deliver to him? Now, if we are able to take over power and we have bodies that understands people and their profile, you must be qualified for a particular office to serve the people. You can't go and study law and then want to be the construction engineer for roads in the states. But because, there's a commanding factor somewhere, he just wakes up and say, look, my son's friend is going to be the one heading this sector. That is why the state is in this position. And this is why politicians are selfish. The people that are close to people in the command of power, in the corridors of power, convince the people to say, look, we are the one in power. We are the ones that owns the state. Nobody owns the state. The people owns the state. The taxpayers in Lagos State owns the state. They have a stay in the state. And when we are in a state where the governor keeps bringing up laws that protect his own office and working against the people, that is a lot of issues and concerns for us. Those are because I recently found out that there's a new law that has been put in place for people to pay for parking space and all that and stuff like that. In the international world that we want to copy them, or we want to take after them. These are open spaces that taxpayers and even the government maintains. But you don't come and charge somebody for parking in his own compound and say he's going to be paying a particular levy.
That's quite ridiculous. So what are your final words to Nigerian electorates as far as your party is concerned?
My final word will be to the Nigerians. I would like to urge the Nigerians, please, let us not continue to sell our birthright or to hand over our peace, our comfort to the political criminals that have decided to personalize the political space. And then how can we continue to have a recycled politicians coming in and out of office, and everybody keeps claiming that there's no money in the nation, but they borrow money, they invest so much in the campaign. They even want to pay you. Why would somebody want to pay you to buy your vote to vote for them? If their intentions are right, it's supposed to be a office that serves the people and not the other way around. So my appeal to the Nigerian people, to voters, I will appeal that please, come 2023, let us vote right. Let us demand. Look, let us not follow after the crowd when they are chanting a particular name and saying vote for this person, because they all have been in power. All of them from other political parties that are candidates. They have all been, some of them are governors of their state. Go and check their records. When they were governors of their states, what are they doing in their states? What are their defaults? Because they're going to come back to repeat it. And I want to sell to you the person of Prince Adewale Adebayo of SDP. Is a candidate. He's 50 years of age. He's a lawyer, and he has a very good pedigree. He has never been in the political space before. I will ask that we go and check out on this person, check his profile. He's clean, And I would also like that all these candidates have been called to come and, give an account of their net worth, and none of them is showing forth. Why this? Because there's still the same set of people that are recycling power. We want to change the narrative. We want to be able to create a statement come 2023 and saying it is not about what the political people thinks will happen. It's about the people. It's about the voice of the people. And how can the people become their own, the destiny changer of their own states in the nation? It is by us determining that if a particular political party is not doing the right thing, we can put them out of power and change the narrative, not us recycling power again. I will encourage you, come out 2023 election, during the voting period, please come out, go and cast your vote. When you cast your vote, ensure that your vote is counted. Ensure to take record. Stay at your polling unit. Don't sit back at home. If you sit back at home, someone else will vote for you. And don't become part of the corrupt government by collecting money. Selling your votes for another 4 years on 15, 20, 30,000 naira, which cannot even purchase a bag of rice in Nigeria anymore. Let us take back our freedom in our hands. Let us tell to the political parties that we, the people, determines who governs us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, Dabira Adeyinka, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's the chairman, the chairperson of the Social Democratic Party in Lagos. It's a pleasure having you.
Same here. Thank you.